Yeah, I'm glad you guys. Every other week is the way to go. Every week is so tough to keep up on.
It was really hard to do a vague idea every single week, especially when I was booking different guests every week too.
How can you do it? Yeah.
And then I don't know. Yeah. And even this seems hard sometimes. It's like, oh yeah.
Dude, yeah. Yeah. Cause I've been doing the I've been doing the one where, with like short stories that I've been reading, you know, and doing those I was doing those every other week. And even that was too much. So I had to switch to a month. It's like, what's sustainable that I can actually keep up on? Like, I think is more important than doing it more frequently.
No, Chelsea and I are going to run ourselves ragged doing monster movies once a week for the rest of our lives.
Yeah. It's tough.
Well, it's the thing, like with the vague idea, the reason I was doing it is because it was like, well, every other podcast is this way. And the only way that I'm going to be quote unquote discovered and grow an audience organically is to do it all the time, which isn't how things actually work. That's one of those lies that they put in the lists of how you get a famous podcast. It's like, number 1, do it all the time. Number 2, no famous people who will tell other people about your podcast.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh no, number 2 is clearly more important.
Number 2 sounds way more important. If you have number 2, disregard all other numbers.
Yeah, post whatever the fuck you want. Yeah. I mean, one of the podcasts I listen to the most is a Star Trek: The Next Generation podcast. They put an episode out whenever they can. And they have a Patreon where they make like $30,000 a month.
Right.
Like
that
amazing.
Drives me crazy though. I want a consistent, predictable schedule. If that's once a month, if that's once a quarter, fine. But like, I need to put it on the calendar.
That's fair.
Right. Totally.
Damn right.
Sometimes I like sweet surprises. Like if you don't expect it, you wake up one day, you get that new episode.
See, that's nice.
Yeah.
I want to live that way.
You want to live the Dale Cooper way, where you just occasionally gift yourself a podcast
every day, once a day, or snooze in your office chair.
This is Debut Buddies. It's a fortnightly podcast about firsts. I'm Nate, and I'm one of the buddies.
I'm Kelly. I'm an additional buddy.
I'm Chelsea. I'm another buddy.
And this week, as you may have heard of the notorious fifth Beatle, who could be any number of 200 people, we are going to present to you the notorious fourth buddy. He's the composer of all of the music that you hear every single episode on this show, and he's also probably our spiritual mascot of sorts. Oh. It's Michael J. O'Connor.
That's a huge responsibility. I'm into it. I'm into it.
Surprise!
Yep, that's right. Wow. We've tethered all of our hopes to you. Don't let us down.
Okay, all right. Everything will be fine. Everything
will be fine. Imagine the podcast audience, dude, and that'll soothe your nerves.
Oh no, this is much worse.
I mean, in fairness,
okay, don't do that.
So much worse.
Quick sidebar: what percentage of podcast listeners do you think are nude while listening to podcasts?
Dude, probably more than you think. Huh. I would say. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and say 85%.
Whoa,
sure,
85% at any given time.
I'm trying to extrapolate just from my own nude podcasting habits. Listening I don't ever record a podcast nude yet. But I do listen to them. I mean, shower podcasts, you know.
Yeah. That's what I was
waiting to air dry podcasts while you're just in a towel.
Yeah.
That counts.
In fairness, your show is called Never Show the Monster, but you can show everything else.
That's true. Oh gosh, halfway through that sentence, I was like, "Are you about to call my naked body a monster?"
No, never. I would never do that.
That sounds like a court order. Never show the monster.
Never show the monster.
No, I was gonna say, like, look, most people listening to podcasts are doing dishes or laundry, right? And in both of those cases, it behooves you to be nude. One, because like you can't wash clothes you're wearing. And two, you don't want to get wet while you're washing dishes. Like, there's water going everywhere.
Dude, an errant spoon, that'll ruin your entire shirt.
Yes, exactly.
And also your phone. Make sure that that's kept at a safe distance away.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You might as well just bag it right away.
Mm-hmm.
It'll make the nude pics you take a little blurrier because you're working through the bag, but it's worth it. It's worth it in the long run.
That's like that Vaseline treatment they give to people in Hollywood that like, it's that like glowy softening of wrinkles. Yeah, this is going to work in your favor.
Yeah.
Totally. I was gonna say I think that would be an improvement for me. I think everyone would appreciate that.
Just life in soft focus.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's really what we all want. Like, everything's pushing toward high def. We don't want that.
God no.
Mm-mm.
We don't need to know.
No.
We need fantasy.
Please.
We need to believe our newscasters are ceramic.
That's right.
Or porcelain. Either one.
Mm.
Hey, so on this episode, we're going to talk about something completely unrelated to all that bullshit just now. We're going to talk about the first F-bomb ever uttered on American television. And that is what our special guest, Michael J. O'Connor, of michaeljoconnor.bandcamp.com, is here to talk about.
Nice.
Yeah. Throwing the plugs in early and often.
Yeah, I like it. Now, here's a question that I have that I wanted to make sure of before we started. Can we say the F word on this podcast? Because I think that's going to be important.
Fuck yes, yeah.
Okay,
please do.
Good.
They would have kicked me off a while ago if that was a no.
Okay. Well, like I've been noticing a lot lately, like you watch YouTube videos and like the F, like people say fuck and it's bleeped. And it's like, what is the internet for? I mean, I know it like demonetizes, but I'm like, come on, it's the internet. Do you realize like what horrible things are on the internet? Every horrible thing.
Yeah.
This is the least of my worries.
Have you guys heard of Goatsy? Like, grow up.
Yeah. I was on Style Project back in the day. I've seen things I wish I could forget.
People chanting "You will not replace us" does not feature the F word, and yet somehow does not get demonetized.
Exactly. Okay, well, good. Well, so where do we want to start? Because I have a whole thing. It's kind of a crazy story, and it goes back pretty far. So do we want to start in 1956?
Oh wow!
I know.
I mean,
do. Yes.
I think we should. Yeah, I think we absolutely have to start in 1956.
Okay.
What's going on in 1956? We've defeated the Nazis.
Marty McFly has just recently demonstrated for Chuck Berry's cousin how to play Johnny Be Good.
A white man has taught us invented rock and roll, apparently.
Yeah,
which is what that movie taught us.
That's it. My history is weak. IDK. What else was going on in 56?
My parents had both been born at that time.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
At least one of mine has. Don't know the other one.
Well, not much was going on in 1956. So they would do this thing where they would just kind of like, especially in Britain, because, they had like when I say Britain, not in the UK, they have, state sponsored television, they have the BBC, and they kind of want to do like cultural things. And so really the first time that fuck was said on television was probably by the Irish playwright and novelist Brendan Behan, who is kind of a genius. He wrote a book called Borstal Boy. Yeah, Borstal Boy. He was when he was a kid, he was in the IRA and ended up going to prison for having bombs. And so he wrote this really great autobiographical novel about that. But so he probably said fuck for the first time on television. But the thing is that he was so drunk and Irish that no one can really tell. Even Irish people, his accent is super thick. And so the odds are good that was the first time, but no one could really tell.
He could have just been saying the word fact.
He could have been saying all kinds of things. It's pretty wild. If you look up any interview with Brendan Behan, he is so drunk all the time. And his accent's really thick, and that does not help.
I saw this anecdote that the first time somebody said fuck on air was probably a drunk guy, but it totally left out all that backstory. So I was imagining just like a man on the street situation where somebody was like, hey, how are you feeling today? And he was like, fucking drunk.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of interesting because I don't know if those things that they made, because they would just go and film him. He was like a pretty big celebrity, and they would just go and film him in a bar, just kind of talking and about whatever he wanted. And so I don't know if it was live or if it was pre-taped. So I'm not sure. I don't know that they had, I forget, I think it's Kinescope, where they could kind of pre-tape stuff live, or they would just shot it on film.
I bet it was live, because by 56, Like we had like radio broadcasting standards way earlier than that, and then like the FCC in the 30s, and we're usually pretty much in lockstep with stuff like that. So probably that must have been live, right?
It may have been. I just like the idea that they're like, what's he saying? Oh, well, it's fine. Just no, if we can't tell, no one else is going to be able to.
There's also the like, what this is never going to catch on. Like, it's TV. This will air this one time and it'll never be thought of again. It'll pass by completely.
That's a good point. Yeah, I wonder if at that point it was like, I mean, who's watching? Who has a TV?
Right. There's 9 Londoners who can own a television set. So what's the point?
Totally.
That's how we get away with it.
It's true. Yes. Yeah.
I mean, some of the disgraceful things you've said, it's a good thing.
Just obscenity after obscenity.
So that's probably the first time that anyone ever swore on television. So if we want, we can also skip ahead to 1965. So that was kind of sketchy whether or not he actually said it. But in 1965, the first ever real use on TV of the offending word was, again, in the UK. It was by a theater critic. His name was Kenneth Tynan, and he was on some satirical show, and he said it. The funny thing is, I couldn't find for the life of me what he actually said. I just know that he said "fuck" somehow.
Yeah, I found this too and could not find the direct quote either.
It's in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Wow.
Although I did find Kenneth Tynan qualified as a critic and known sadomasochist.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. So they had to do a formal apology by the BBC. 4 separate House of Commons motions were signed by both the Labour and Tory parties. They sent a letter to the Queen from the morality campaigner, Mary Whitehouse, which I love the idea. Like, how much fun is the morality campaigner going to be?
Right.
What a square.
Such a square. A British morality campaigner.
Horrible at a dinner party.
We're patrician, but we could be patricianer.
And she urged, this was her quote, and this ties into what you just said, Nate. Her quote was that Kenneth Tynan, quote, ought to have his bottom smacked.
Whoa.
Now, how that ties in
sadomasochism
is that
given what he's into.
He became very well known for his, quote, sadomasochistic fantasies, sometimes involving both of them cross-dressing, sometimes hiring prostitutes as extras in elaborate scenes. He told his wife that he intended to continue with the sessions weekly, although all common sense and reason and kindness and even camaraderie are against it. So this guy rules. A unique guy, yeah.
I love that these first 2 examples are theater kids. And on top of that, I love that his like fantasy here is so dramatic. Like, he can't be stopped. He's got a vision, and I hope that he achieved it.
Yeah.
He's got a lighting plan for this spanking.
Yeah, he's like, dude, I've already hired my key grip. I've hired, etc.
You need a good grip on the paddle, otherwise the spanking's going to be pretty weak. So
there she is. He's at it. He's on fire, folks.
We've done Tech Week. We're good to go. We open in 2 weekends. So that was kind of probably the first time anyone said it intentionally. You know, where it couldn't be sort of skewed. That maybe he didn't.
What do you think he said? Do you know what the context was? You just said it was on a variety show, you said?
It said it was a satirical talk show on the BBC.
Satirical talk show.
I'm not sure if it was like a sketch, that they were doing, or, the BBC had, it's kind of interesting. Like, they, especially back then in the 60s and 70s, they, I think, had the same thing that Canada has, where a certain amount of what it plays on TV has to be made in the UK. Yeah. And so I know that, like, when Monty Python went in to possibly start doing Flying Circus, they were like, well, what's it going to be? And they were like, we don't really know. And they're like, 12 episodes, whatever.
Yeah.
And so they did all kinds of wild, just weird stuff just to kind of fill airtime. So I couldn't tell you what it was.
Weird. I need to know. I need to find out. Okay, I'm gonna fly out there. I'm gonna find their microfiche. I'm gonna find their Library of Congress equivalent that stored all of our tweets for a long time. I'm gonna get to the bottom of this.
I mean, there's got to be a government record, right? Because if that much of the House of Commons participated in addressing it, there must be something in an archive that's like, yep.
Yeah.
Or do you think that archive is like bleep space bleep? Like it's almost redacted, but it's just the words bleep.
It's just courtroom sketches of men in wigs blushing with redacted paragraphs.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine they wrote down what it was for it to be read in the House of Commons. I just can't picture it. The morality campaigner would have had a fit, clearly.
That's true. That's true.
Do you think it could have just been one fuck? Like he dropped something and was just like, fuck.
Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Nothing before, nothing after.
Stubbed his toe.
He just looked in the camera. Fuck.
Yeah, I feel like
there were more than 10 people in the audience, and he just opened the show like, fuck.
Got too nervous.
That's a theater kid right there that does not know what to do with an actual audience that showed up.
No improbabilities.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, when I was researching this topic a little bit, one of the examples I found is a kid on like the college or high school Jeopardy who responds. He misanswers a question about who portrayed Queen Amidala in Star Wars, and says who is Nicole Kidman, right? And then Trebek is like, no, and this kid like, and there's a YouTube clip of it. This kid just goes like, oh fuck.
That's fantastic.
Wait, were we doing Jeopardy live?
I mean, they must have been. I don't know. Or somebody got like the original taping of it. I want. Well, do they do like the College Champions episodes live, like the final?
Oh, they might. Yeah.
They might do that.
Maybe.
Bottom line is, it's sort of amazing that's the only time, because I would think, if I ever went on Jeopardy, I'm pretty sure I would be doing that. Like I would make a stupid mistake, like, oh fuck, and you're just like, no, surely they cut away from me, so no longer I'm picking up the sound, but.
Have you ever seen the video of Alex Trebek like doing some ad or something, and he's like, what the fuck is this? It's like, they would sometimes like get the behind the scenes thing of like the old like recording of Casey Kasem doing like, this is dedicated to this dead dog, and he's like, it's about a fucking dead dog, and he's like going off about how upset he is. He's like, and then we're supposed to play fucking Sugar by the Archies after this, or whatever the hell it's going to be. And someone gets a hold of that, and it like gets passed around. Like, you got to look at this.
The famous Bill O'Reilly will do it live.
Like Bill O'Reilly. Yep.
Yeah. Couldn't happen to a better guy.
Yeah, really. Seems like a nice guy. So I was very surprised to see he was a dick.
Yeah. You never would have thought from Inside Edition or Extra or whatever the hell he was on before.
It's always the nicest people, So yeah, are we ready to we're almost to the first American one that we can be sure of.
Hell yeah, let's go.
What happens next?
So the next one is going to be in 1969.
Nice.
This was Jefferson Airplane on the Dick Cavett show. Played a song, and they have a lyric where she maybe says "up against the wall, motherfucker," but it can't really. It's again sort of. She just kind of yelps it. So you
I don't
can't
know,
really,
dude. Did you listen to it?
No.
She says it.
It's
the whole
pretty.
band says it.
Yeah.
They all say it together?
It's pretty clear. They all say it together. It's a horrible recording. These they are not. I don't think they can hear each other. Is how I'll say it politely.
Got it.
I mean, it was Jefferson Airplane, like classic band, lots of good songs. Not necessarily the most renowned live performers, or
right.
I'm just saying, like, let one person sing. Like, if y'all all can't agree on what note we're doing, like, just let one person handle it.
Okay.
But I got curious about that, and so I went and looked at the lyrics of this song, and there's like a weird, like Marxist tie-in, and to the lyrics of this song. They like took inspiration from maybe took inspiration is generous. It seems like maybe they copied the words of a poem written by a member of the Black Panthers. And a member of the Up Against the Wall Motherfuckers was, I guess, a like slogan of the Black Panthers. And so that's what the lyrics of the song are. I guess it's supposed to be like super powerful. But I thought that was interesting and kind of cool that like the first use of it in American television was like not some assholes. I mean, maybe this was like super appropriation. I did not read far enough into it. Maybe this is like a cancelable offense. But from the description, I was like, cool. They were like doing a the government is the enemy, anti-fascist message, which is cool.
Sure. I mean, a lot of, so much. I didn't watch it because I hate that music. I hate Jefferson Airplane. I hate all that hippie music.
Oh, it's bad. Don't watch it.
Yeah. I didn't watch it. But I mean, that makes sense because I mean, they're a San Francisco band, and San Francisco at that time was completely, everyone was living. It's such a small place that all the bands, these revolutionaries, they're all living in the same place. So that makes sense to me.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
So after that, we are in 1976, and we get to the Sex Pistols, who were on a what they call a tea time talk show, which I guess is like a prime time kind of talk show, and they are wasted. They said fuck a million fucking times, and this is what they were banned from television forever from then.
Good on them.
They could not be stopped. They
yeah.
I think that they really did a lot of disservices to themselves. Like Jello Biafra is, to this day, full of opinions, and I love him for him. God bless.
Absolutely.
I wonder if that's the one that we talked about in our Dead Kennedys episode. Was this the like satirical one where they were hired on the show because the producers didn't like do enough research and they thought that they were like a new wave band?
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah. What was it? It was like suck my dick, you capitalist fucks or something. It was something like that. That was the vibe.
I think this is interesting because it's like I understand what the Sex Pistols meant for music, but they're not good. It's sort of the same. It's sort of the same problem. I
was talking Dead Kennedys. I'm so sorry. I got confused.
You're good.
No, I knew what you meant.
But yeah, like Sex Pistols is kind of like Jefferson Airplane, where it's like
exactly
the most on the nose version of the movement in a lot of ways, and so it's when I was reading about this very thing, I was like, I wonder if this is like all the cred that was built for this band was on the fact that they said fuck on TV as many times as possible. And then it was like, hey, cool, we have one record, half of our band dies almost immediately, and we never do anything else meaningful. But man, we're going to go down in history because we really seemed punk, even though it was like not really anti-establishment. It was just dipshittery.
Well, they were like the first big punk band in the UK. Is that right?
Oh,
Am I remembering that right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. For sure. I actually really liked, they did on Hulu, they did like a biopic kind of series. And I don't really give a fuck about the Sex Pistols. Like Nate said, like they have one record and it's just like sort of louder, like blues rock. Like it's just shit. But I like, I like the idea, and they were like, it was an art piece, it's not the same thing as like the Ramones or like the New York stuff, or like the American stuff that's like about music and about like, it's a little more serious. Like the Sex Pistols are just fun. It's art. So yeah, I think, Nate, that you're completely right. That's absolutely why they were as big as they were, is because they did shit like that.
Yeah, they just went on TV and had a wank, as they say.
Yeah, exactly.
Do they say that?
I think so.
Okay.
I say it when I go on TV. That's what I'm doing.
We're back into nude podcasting.
That's right. Let's all have a wank. Mikey, cue the having a wank song.
Having a wank.
so sad about it.
Yeah.
Yet another one.
Yet another one. Just to feel something.
Left hand, etc. We could go on.
So let's get to the main one, which is the main one that I wanted to talk about the most. This is kind of leading up. This is the history of the F word on TV. All of these are sort of either in the UK or they're sort of like negligible. They're not really on purpose. 1981 was kind of a weird year for Saturday Night Live because it had been a huge show. I think it started in 1975. It had been a huge show. Chevy Chase had left. He was been replaced by Bill Murray. Bill Murray was leaving, and the show didn't really have much going for it. So Lorne Michaels was going to take a year off, and he was going to let the show also take a year off. And NBC said, fuck no, you're not going to do that. We're going to bring in another producer. We're going to get rid of the cast that everyone loves, and we're going to rehire new people.
Smart.
Which is
I think
super
people
smart.
will like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Everybody loves a reboot.
Great.
Super duper smart. So that is where we enter the main character, I think, of this story is a man by the name of Charles Rocket.
Hell yeah.
And
a man of many names. He's got like a dozen aliases.
I think the best one is Charlie Hamburger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
is hilarious.
Whenever I was looking him up before, I kept getting him confused, and I was like, Johnny Rocket. And I was like, no, that's a burger place, not Johnny Rocket. And I kept looking it up. And then I was like, well, his name is Charles Hamburger, so I don't feel bad anymore.
You like plucked something from the ether. You like understood
totally.
Concepts.
Yeah. It's a collective consciousness.
Yeah.
There's like weird connections that you're like, no, this is all connected somehow.
It's like that that meme of the woman with all the like geometry around her, and she's like really thinking. Your mind palace.
Except she's dressed in a 50s diner costume and she's dancing on the bar top.
In roller skates. It's very dangerous.
Yeah. Oh man, somebody's really gonna get hurt.
So the weird thing about Charles Rocket is that he wasn't a comedian like at all. He had been part of like an underground, art guy. He'd gone to RISD, the Rhode Island School of Design, in the 60s. He knew David Byrne. He knew Gus Van Sant. He was kind of like just a artsy kind of guy. And he was a news anchor. That was his main job in Pueblo, Colorado.
Yeah. What was he doing out here?
He was just doing his thing. And so I'm not quite sure where because most of the time, like if you're going to be on Saturday Night Live, like you're either a stand-up or you've been in the Groundlings, you've done improv of some kind, you've been in Second City. I'm not quite sure where he came from.
Oh, I was watching a YouTube video and they had talked about how he had just randomly sent in an audition tape and then it wasn't picked up immediately, but the new person remembered him whenever he had sent it to Lauren and then had asked him to come in because she had watched him as a news anchor. It was a she, right?
Yeah, Jean Demanian. Yeah.
And so they asked him to come back or asked him to come in because she liked him as an anchor.
Was he like a really funny anchor? Was he like
he had
doing
a lot
characters?
Of charisma is what they said. He also won his like high school thing for the most wit, and he seems like a fun dude.
He's hunky too.
He's a good looking guy.
That's the thing. It's like somebody who's good looking and has some presence, and you're trying to recast SNL. You're like, where do we start? Well, we need a Chevy Chase type. I mean, that's part of the thing, right? Is he's sort of billed as like a mix between Bill Murray and Chevy Chase, where he's going to be like wryly humorous, but he's also going to be handsome. So,
Wait,
and that's what they
which
want.
One of them was handsome? Was it
Chevy Chase? Was
kind of. He had a hell of a chin cleft.
That's fair.
In 75, Chevy Chase, I think, is handsome. I think that's a fair argument to make.
Yeah, no. I'm like, he's not like a troll or what. I guess spiritually he's a troll, right? He was
spiritually
he was
he is
kind
a
of
troll.
Sure, yeah.
I was just like, 70s handsome was a very different handsome from today.
It's true.
Dude,
it's true.
We had talked about that when we did the first episode. Was it our first episode? The first reality TV show?
Second one, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because we had talked about that. Just that guys in the 70s who were supposed to be hot, really attractive.
I mean, I do like a mustache, you know?
We were watching the other day, it came on TV, and I was watching Stripes with Bill Murray and Harold Ramis. And I'm like watching this, and he's like talking about like, man, I got to do something with my life. I'm going to join the army. And I'm like, how old is Bill Murray in this movie? He's 29 in that movie. He looks about 45.
Yeah.
It is rough. I was like, you got to be shitting me. This guy is 29 years old, and he's supposed to be playing like 25. It's crazy.
We just age better now. We figured
so
out moisturizer.
I will send it to Nate because I want you guys to see it. My dad has a picture. I don't know how interesting this is going to be to anyone, but my dad has a picture of my great grandmother sitting on her front porch, and she looks, honest to God, 85, and she is 42 years old in this picture.
Oh wow!
She looks like the grandma on the Beverly Hillbillies. I am not shitting you.
Oh no!
And she is 42 years old.
Spent a lot of time in the sun. Probably smoked cigarettes.
Absolutely.
We were doing a lot more living back then too, you know?
Totally.
That's
totally.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Spend a lot of time inside, no UV rays, so.
Yeah.
We're not starving. We're not like, if I don't milk this, I die.
Yeah, I want to be Johnny Rockets over here. I've already forgotten his name. I just want to like bounce around throughout the country and just like be vaguely into arts and somehow make a living.
Totally.
You can't do that anymore.
The career of a news anchor is really interesting, right? Because like every local news person has jobs in like 8 cities. Like that's just how your career goes. And it's and you're just like angling for the biggest market that you can get to. Which I always find funny because it's like, oh yeah, people who were Denver news anchors when I was growing up and be like, oh, they're going to Minneapolis, and it's like, is that an upgrade or a downgrade? I don't really know.
It's a betrayal. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, that's right. How dare you share news with Minneapolis?
They would come from Kansas and then they would go to Denver and then they would go to Minneapolis, right?
Oh, so you're saying that we were the second? He'd already been a betrayer before he came to us, and we should have looked into his history.
Yeah,
second tier market.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like people who do
with you, they'll cheat on you.
I mean, people who do radio, it's like if your partner is in radio or TV even, like it's like, well, don't get too used to living in Kansas City, because 2 years from now when I get fired from this, when my contract's up, we're moving to Spokane so I can do the morning show there.
I'm going to say the F word during the weather and I'm out.
Right. So we should get back to Charles Rocket.
Charles, got it.
So,
Thank you.
So yeah, he would kind of do, I don't know if you guys watched any of them, but he would do these like man on the street things called the Rocket Report. And they weren't that great. But they weren't super funny. He would just kind of like talk to people and walk around New York. They're an interesting thing just to see New York in the 80s. It's really cool just to watch them because it looks like hell. It's, totally like a Scorsese movie still. Like it looks,
there's just barrel fires everywhere.
Yeah. Steam coming out of the grates. Totally.
It's weird to think of present day New York as being cleaner, because everywhere in New York smells like piss and there are pools of vomit everywhere.
So you can only imagine.
Right.
And yet.
Yeah.
Before those pools of vomit, Olympic sized.
Whoa.
Regulation.
Slime City. That's where they got the idea for Ghostbusters.
So yeah, he would do like do these man on the street things. He played Ronald Reagan. He played David Rockefeller. He did impersonation of. Okay, I guess just a handsome guy.
Which that's also like that's a very context in context impression that like none of us would ever get, because we weren't old enough to be like, oh, David Rockefeller, I get it.
Yeah, hilarious.
I see what you're doing.
Prince Charles though too, right?
Yep, Prince Charles. He played. Yeah. Oh. Yep. Marlon Perkins. I don't even know who that is. I know the name, but I do not know who that is.
I assume some kind of talking fish.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I thought as well.
He was an American zoologist. Okay.
Oh, close.
It's a little on the
close.
nose.
Oh, well known.
Who was this? Like the precursor to like Steve Irwin?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
I can see that. Or like Jack Hanna.
Oh yeah, he hosted Wild Kingdom. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
From 63 to 85.
Oh yeah.
For him.
I've seen clips of this show.
So yeah, he was like, he was pretty funny on a really, really weak season. He wasn't like hilarious. But he had charisma. He could do those man on the street things. He was doing kind of interesting things on a show that was floundering. It was just pure shit at that time and had kind of lost its way. So, I think that he did the best with what he could. All the writers were gone. All these like kind of Terry Southern, who had been a writer there early on. Michael, his name's escaping me. He started National Lampoon. All these really brilliant writers, Al Franken, they had all left. So everyone was kind of like trying to do their best to do their own material. This new producer was really inexperienced, and the ratings were just pure shit.
This was around the time of a writer's strike. Is that why they left, or was that unrelated?
This is interesting because there's also a writer's strike right now.
Yeah.
It didn't help that for like I think 3 months of the season they couldn't work because of that writer's strike. So this era lasted from March of 1980 to November of 1981, I believe, is when this producer was there. And I think for like a few months there, they couldn't do any shows. And so that doesn't help when you're trying to get used to being on live TV, getting used to doing comedy.
Yeah.
Spanning 2 decades. That's tough.
Yeah. Yes. That brings us to February 21st, 1981. A huge show at the time, a show that I love, is a show called Dallas. That was about the Ewing family. They were rich oil people. And it was a huge thing that J.R. Ewing got shot. And this whole thing was who shot J.R. I mean, I'm sure everyone has seen that. Even if you don't know the context of it,
You know who shot Mr. Burns?
Shot Mr. Burns, which I think was probably, now that you're mentioning it, probably a parody of that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I never
Making
thought
assumptions about my knowledge base. I don't know either of these things.
You don't have to. It's like,
Thanks.
yeah. Patrick Duffy was on Dallas. It was just like, it was like a soap opera. It was like the OC of its time, which is even the OC is like the what of now. I'm not sure. Even that's an old
Riverdale?
dated reference. Yeah. There you go. It was the Riverdale
Yeah.
of this time.
Okay, I only know Riverdale.
There you go. Gotcha.
Patrick Duffy, who was on Step by Step, he was the dad on Step by Step, dies in Dallas and then is brought
Spoilers.
back at the end of the season that he died in, showering, when we realized that the entire preceding season was a
Oh.
dream.
Was that a
Just
writer's
the
strike?
worst.
season?
Dallas
The worst.
was something else.
Classic. It's a classic
worst.
sitcom move.
God.
Just so everybody gets this in their head real quick. You know what else probably was happening around February 21st, 1981? A young Nate Regolia was being conceived.
Oh, ew.
Gross. We were so excited and it took a turn.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, congrats, I guess.
Good job, everyone.
Just saying, somebody shot JR, somebody else shot
Okay,
Nate.
all right. That is truly horrific.
And now I'm done with the show. I'll see you later.
We have a mandatory cum quota. Every episode, we have to make at least one joke that we all regret.
So that show was hosted by Charlene Tilton, who was on Dallas, and so they were, of course, going to do a parody sketch of the Who Shot JR. So basically, Charles Rocket is going to play J.R. Ewing. He ends up getting shot in the chest in the sketch, and in the kind of like it was a different format. Now they do like the good night and everything, and they sort of, instead of that, they would like stay on the last sketch and then everyone would say good night instead of cutting to another thing. So Charles Rocket is still in his like J.R. Ewing outfit, and he's just been shot. And Charlene Tilton asks him, how he feels about being shot. And he says, quote, "Oh man, it's the first time I've ever been shot in my life. I'd like to know who fucking did it." So it's kind of weird, right? Because I'm not sure if he meant to say it. I'm not sure if it was an accident. I'm not sure if he's trying to be funny. Because again, he's not a comedian. This could have been something he thought was funny.
He delivers it very straight. Like, I think
weird.
he was like method acting. I think that he was like in character, responding like, "I've just been shot. Who the fuck?"
Yeah, it's weird. It's certainly awkward, and it's certainly a poor comedic choice if he's trying to be funny.
And the girl who hosted, her reaction to it, was that her reaction? She like freaked out and like screamed, and then she like almost like not fainted, but like hit her face and just felt like awful about like she had like secondhand embarrassment from it. She was like, "Oh God, we're in trouble. We're in trouble." I think she felt like she was in trouble. I feel like that was like a moment of being like, "Oh my God, no."
She does not want to be standing next to him. That's for sure.
Well, she does take a few steps away to like physically distance herself. But she looked like a little kid on the playground who's just heard a swear word. She's like, "Oh, I'm telling Mom." Like, "You're gonna get in trouble."
She knows she's gonna be in People magazine next week.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be talking about how she caused Saturday Night Live to be permanently canceled.
Well, I mean, and the thing is, like, this show is already on the ropes, right? Like, it's already on thin fucking ice. And so I think that, because, and this is kind of something I want to talk about too, like, it's happened since, and it's not a big deal. Like, you just pay, you pay a fine. Obviously, like, you shouldn't do it, but like, Jenny Slate said fuck on the air.
Yeah. But then she also didn't make it an entire season after that.
Exactly.
Yeah, she got fired for that too.
She did say it wasn't because of that, but it feels like that was part of it. She said that the chemistry was bad and she felt it wasn't her place there.
Totally.
What'd she say?
She said fuck. Well, she played a character, and in the middle of her sentence, she just said fuck. She was like I don't know, like not a redneck, but somebody that was like a little bit trashy. I don't.
Yeah, she's supposed to say like, "I love you for that," and she says, "I fucking love you for that." And you can, dude, the look on her face, like you can just, she's like, "Oh God,
I've ruined it." I think I watched that one live when it happened, and I was like, this is bad.
So bad.
Meanwhile, Adrian Brody.
Oh my God.
Racism? Wait.
Yeah, for doing his Sean Paul impression. Yeah, because he put on like a Rasta wig and reggae hat and introduced Sean Paul on an episode, even though he was reportedly told multiple times by people not to do it. Don't do it. Do not do it. And then he went on there and did the most like blackface reggae
that's horrible
voice.
Why did they film him? Don't just turn off the camera. Have somebody else do it.
I don't know.
They wanted a reason not to bring him back. I'm sure.
Right.
They were like, we have to cite something, so let's just go ahead and do it.
Oh no.
Because of that, it was a big deal. Like I think that even though we've kind of gone through these other ones where people have said it, it was not. The show is famously live, where it sets up a thing where anything can happen, and it's like this is kind of a thing that went too far, where that concept kind of went too far. At least for 1981. And
I do have a question in that. I did hear that he said the N-word previously. Was that okay at that time? Do I not understand how time works?
Oh shit.
I didn't.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I could be wrong. I was like trying to read articles earlier today, and one of them they were like, he said the N-word earlier, and that was fine, but then he said the F word, and that was bad. And I was like, I'm not sure if I agree.
I know that I don't agree.
Chevy Chase did.
Oh yeah, that checks out. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was saying previously somebody on the show had done it. Sometimes I can't read right.
Yeah, so. Chevy Chase said it to Richard Pryor on SNL. at one
in a
point.
sketch,
which was part of
context.
Yeah,
I'm not defending it, but I'm just he didn't just say, he wasn't yelling at him.
Not
on camera.
Yeah,
right.
So that does mean that was okay by the FCC
to say that. Oh, for sure, almost certainly. Certainly.
2 thumbs down. Is it still okay? What's the law now?
No, I'm sure it's not okay now, but I mean, I think we'll segue into a discussion about like the nature of obscenity and the things that are cut, because you can also reference like Sinead O'Connor ripping up a photo of the Pope on SNL and then having her entire career tanked in this country. And having like Joe Pesci host the next week and be like, I would have beat the shit out of her. And everybody's like, yeah, Joe Pesci killed that woman who was defending children who were being raped by the papacy.
Man, I hate history. It always bums me out.
So it looks like you're right. It looks like he did say the N-word in a sketch that he didn't write, for what that's worth.
That's fair.
Eddie Murphy was a cast member
at that time. Yeah.
That year.
Yeah. So why not have him do it? But that's weird.
Yeah, let him do it. Well, but that's my worry, is that it was like
a sketch. Is it
did he say it at Eddie Murphy? Probably,
it was called Commie Hunting Season, is what the sketch was called. So I'm sure it was great and hilarious.
So he was playing Reagan.
So he was playing Reagan. Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. Totally.
I bet that one aged well. I bet that one's good.
Sure.
They should rerun it.
I'm sure it's on Hulu right now, and we should all watch it. Or Peacock, I guess. Go to Peacock and watch those specific sketches.
This show is brought to you by Peacock.
Do you guys remember all the blackface that happened in 30 Rock?
A lot. Oh yeah.
They pulled
that
it
show
from the streamers.
Has not aged well in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah, most of the things from when we were in our 20s has not aged well.
Yeah,
somewhat unsurprisingly, or the two of you in your teens.
Dude, yeah.
Babies. No, I was in my 20s, right? I don't know.
No, it's just the moisturizer. It's the Vaseline.
It's true. Yeah, we're all just covered in Vaseline here, listeners. Having a wank.
Oh God!
Enjoy your podcast.
Gross, Nate.
What?
That's two.
Rule of thirds. It's coming back.
We're gonna have to raise the quota. Don't make me start an FCC of debut buddy.
You're gonna demand final cut on every episode. Nope, I'm cutting this.
No, I'm just gonna do like corrections corner every week.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Nate said this last week. I disagree.
We here at Debut Buddies do not condone the behavior of one Nate Regolia.
Gonna need a new theme song. Thanks.
Yeah. Corrections corner.
Kelly's corrections corner. All K's.
Oh, all K's. Yeah, of course.
No, this is what I'm talking about.
Oh God. So yeah, after that season, the show had a ton of negative press. It was not funny. Really, like having Eddie Murphy there, like he was already kind of a big star by the time he got there. So that was something. He did some funny stuff, but that's about it. I mean, Gilbert Gottfried was on the cast.
I mean,
Joe Piscopo.
Joe Piscopo. I mean, that whole season kind of became like a punchline, and I think that's probably when like you started seeing the Saturday Night Dead headlines, which pop up every 5 years or so.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Media knocking it out of the park every half decade.
Great job, everyone.
Yeah, was Mad Magazine still going at this point? Like,
oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yeah, I bet they were running wild.
Oh yeah, the Blech report. There's always something with Blech.
I know.
Hilarious.
Some of them funny.
Oh yeah,
some of them so lazy.
They got rid of the producer that was kind of the interim producer, Gene Domanian, and they brought on Dick Ebersol, who had produced Monday Night Football, did not have like any kind of experience in comedy, but he had eventually some good ideas. Like he hired Larry David. He, I believe, brought on Martin Short and Harry Shearer, and people who are already like sort of established. Billy Crystal, people who like had a name in comedy, and he did have the idea to not bring on like inexperienced people, which I think Charles Rocket was kind of a part of that. So Charles Rocket was fired along with Gilbert Gottfried, almost all the writers. I think Joe Piscopo and Eddie Murphy were the only ones that stayed. So the whole show was completely retooled. And I think one of the reasons I thought this was an interesting story is that a lot of people think he was fired because of that. And I don't think that that's what happened. I think even though it was a big deal, I think his inexperience, I think just the retooling, when a new boss shows up, they want to make changes no matter what. Yeah. And I think that didn't have as much to do with it as, I went through a lot of articles on him. We'll get to why. That was like the first thing that came up, that it ruined his career. And I just don't think it did.
He went on to do a bunch of movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was in Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus.
Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
Daddy Girls Are Easy.
Yeah.
Dances with Wolves.
Classic.
He won an Oscar.
Yeah.
He won
or
an
tangentially.
Oscar?
I mean, sure. Dances with Wolves won an Oscar and he was in it. Okay. It's like a Super Bowl ring scenario.
Yeah. Best use of fuck on network TV. Charles Rocket.
So yeah, I just don't think that it's fair to kind of speculate that that's why. And also one of the things that really struck me, I listened to a podcast. He was really good friends with Joe Pantoliano from The Sopranos and The Matrix.
Yeah.
And I listened to a podcast with Joe Pantoliano and Gilbert Gottfried, and no one has a bad thing to say about this guy.
Oh, good.
He by all accounts was a sweet guy that everyone loved, and he was like a ordained minister that he married Joe Pantoliano and his wife, and was just like, just no one has anything bad to say about him. And so I just think like it was just there were a lot of rumors going around that he was, because they really touted him as like the next Chevy Chase, who was like a huge star. And it was just when you get hyped up like that and you don't really have experience in comedy, you're not that funny, they set him up to fail. And I think that's
a lot of pressure.
Ton of pressure.
Yeah. It's like that Alden Ehrenreich kid who had to play Han Solo. It's like, what are you doing?
Aww.
Exactly.
You don't want to
I actually really like that movie. I thought that movie was cool.
It's not a bad movie, but a lot of people hate it. And there's some poorly written parts, but that's not why we're here.
Sure. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Censor that. There's a writer strike on. No bad words about writers.
That's right. Right? Well, come on. Some stuff's just poorly written.
Guy didn't watch
and it was probably a producer who did it anyway. They were like, people need to know how Han Solo got his last name, don't they? No, we don't. But yeah, sadly, Charles Rocket probably committed suicide in 2005.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, he apparently had slit his throat with 2 knives, harikari style, and they found him in his backyard out in the snow in Connecticut.
It's not like Curious Circumstances, not at all. Not even
that's what they say.
Yeah,
I'd love to see the Emmy report.
That's weird.
It's really weird
because that seems like a straight up like another person.
Yeah,
and no one can see me who's listening, but I am motioning how it would be done.
Yeah. No, you're miming.
So
to be fair, it's the same medical examiner who dealt with Elliott Smith. So I think maybe that's the connection. No, that's a terrible joke. Don't sue me.
I was like, I don't know. There are like 3 medical examiners in the country, right? There's not very many.
Right. The guy on Law and Order, Dexter,
Ducky.
I'm glad that you brought that up, Nate, because when one of the things that Joe Pantoliano was talking about was he said for him, this guy was his friend, and that was a wake up call for him that maybe, it was okay for him to talk about being depressed. It was okay for him to, think about, it's not normal to, you don't have to keep all that shit inside because then you end up slitting your throat with 2 knives in the back of your house in Connecticut. So I think that like, it's important to think about these things that it was disappointing to me to read that, like, that was the first sentence, blah 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 actor who, whose career was ruined by his use of the F word on Saturday Night Live. That is like the first sentence in every single article about his death. And I'm just like, this guy was given like an impossible task and did what he could with it. And, for whatever reason ended up, doing what he did, but, was by all accounts a great guy that people loved. He was, someone that people liked in show business, and he had a good career. So it's just, he was totally set up to fail. And I thought it was an interesting story.
It also always sucks when you like reduce anyone down to like the soundbite, right?
Sure.
Like, oh, here's the one like pithy thing, and that's all that they were. Like, okay, great. So you take like this big 3-dimensional person and you collapse them into a headline. Got it. Cool.
Totally. It's like this. It's like people that only know like Bjork for that time she attacked that lady at the airport.
That lady
it's like,
was bonkers.
She deserved it. She totally deserved it.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
She was a full-on stalker.
I'm with you. But there's probably a lot of people that like that's what they know about Bjork.
Yeah.
So
or the swan dress.
Or the swan dress. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like if I had heard the story from a different context and somebody was just like, oh, the dad from Hocus Pocus, this happened to him, I would be like, and I didn't know him from SNL. I didn't know his story from there. But if they had related it to any of his other characters, I would have been shocked. And I would have been like, oh, and I would have known him primarily as that person. So it's so weird that something so early on in his career just super defined him for no huge reason. I mean, like, I guess, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's 25 years later. It's very weird.
He also bought he had an old house that was like in the 1700s, and it was like, he was like building it. I don't know. I think there's a haunted house story in here somewhere that has nothing to do. I think this is actually a horror story. I'm so sorry.
I'm with you.
But I feel like that could be what happened. The house he bought his dream house. It was built in the 1700s, and he lived in it alone, and it was huge. And he had a tent that he would take out on his property and sleep in the tent. That's what you do when you have a haunted house. Even that, like, that's a haunted house death.
That's a haunted house.
That's a good point.
That's a haunted house.
Sorry.
It's a weird story. I mean, and I just, from, listening to a couple podcasts, especially that Gilbert Gottfried one is really interesting. It's just like people had spoken to him like 2 days prior. I mean, I know that like that doesn't mean shit. Like,
sure,
that doesn't, you always hear that with people who commit suicide. Oh, we didn't know. But it is just a weird story, and there's just not a whole lot about it out there, and it's weird. It's odd.
And now I got to investigate this too. I got to go to England for that thing. Now I got to come back, dig into this one. I'm curious.
This has asked more questions than it's answered.
Come visit. Just come visit me. We'll get in the car. We'll drive to Connecticut.
Okay, perfect.
You can take your one of your boxes that you've talked about on your podcast.
My spirit box.
Yeah, we'll take the spirit box up there. We'll look for knife-wielding ghosts. It's going to be great.
Oh my God. I can't wait. I am thinking of a haunted road trip on the East Coast, so
there it is.
Put it on the calendar.
I got 3 extra seats in the car. Well, 4 actually, if someone wants to ride in the middle in the back.
1 for me, 1 for my spirit box.
Yeah.
2 for the ghosts we want to bring home.
Ghosts need road trips too.
They do.
They gotta get out.
They gotta get out.
The Mouth Guard Report. Open wide.
I have no mouth updates.
No mouth updates?
No mouth updates. No Garf updates.
No Garf updates?
Oh, is there a Garf update? Shit. No, I'll save it.
Okay, we'll save it. Mikey, any mouth guard report news?
No mouth guard report news. I'm missing a front tooth, and I'm saving up for a new one. So
where'd it go?
Yeah.
I fell down.
I think I found it.
Okay, good.
I'll give it back to you when I'm done with it. Don't worry.
Okay, thank you.
Nate's got a collection.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I did
weird.
get the pictures of my cavity, by the way.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna have to cover that next time.
Yeah.
All right.
Get that right up in the camera. I know my character is very gross tonight. I'm sorry. Does everybody want to play a game?
Yeah.
Let's play I See What You Did There.
Wait, are we still co-op?
Oh yeah, is this still a co-op?
Oh yeah, it's all co-op.
Okay.
All three of you get to
we work
participate together to solve these.
Yeah.
It's me and Chelsea versus Michael J. O'Connor.
Okay.
No, co-op.
Full on co-op. It's all gonna be F-bomb and bomb related. So get excited.
I'm ready.
Are you getting
I'm excited.
Oh great. Okay, cool. All right. Number
This is
one.
what it looks like.
Number one. These were the names of the bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki during World War II. And Stephen King once said, quote, "How is it possible it took me 30 fucking years to make the acquaintance of Mr. Furious Styles?" About Lawrence Fishburne in this 90s movie.
Oh, are they the same thing?
So it's like,
Wait, were they in a movie
it's
together?
like they'll like blend together. So
It's a
gonna
before
be-
and after.
Right. Fat Man and Little Boys in the Hood.
You are correct, yeah.
Whoa!
Fat Man and Little Boys in the Hood.
All I had was Fat Man, Little Boy.
Damn.
I was like, I didn't care what happens after that.
You
Dude,
see what I
love
did there?
It's a great movie.
All right. Number two.
Right.
This mob movie and wet bandit actor is known for slinging F-bombs in movies, and now he's given up all meat, save for fish.
Joe Pescatarian.
Pescatarian.
You see what I did there.
I feel like you made these easy.
I made them like an hour ago because I was finishing work and I went, oh, fuck, I don't think I did this yet. All right. Number three. This one's a banger. This Marvel sequel is the first non-Deadpool film to feature an F-bomb. And this racist agreement from the 1787 Constitutional Convention declared black enslaved people as 60% human for the purposes of taxation and representation.
Nate, this is terrible. Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 3/5 Compromise.
Yeah.
You see what I did there? Yes.
God.
Yes. You see what I did there?
I only knew the second part. This is first
I
of
knew
all,
the
let's
first
just take a moment. Let's just take a moment to step back. That on these last two ones, Kelly Attaway knew the history portion and not the pop culture portion.
Yeah. This episode is full of surprises.
Is she growing?
We're all growing. We've learned something. There's a little ghost inside us all.
Yeah, he's steering me.
There you go. Okay, number four. This is the last one. Between this director's first two films in 1992 and 94, there are 534 F-bombs. And this is another word for vaccination.
Oh.
Is it inoculation?
Yeah, that's a thing.
Okay. 92 and 94, lots of swear words.
Gotta be
Tarantino.
Quentin Tarantino, yeah.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
Put it together.
Tarantinoculation.
Yeah.
That also sounds like a cocktail.
It does.
Aw.
Tarantinoculation.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see what I did there?
It's in a martini glass.
You did it! It was like the fastest one ever. And here I was like, we're running short on time. Nope. It took 5 minutes to do that entire segment. So that's good.
We just need a third party every time.
Yeah.
So otherwise it's me and Chelsea like floundering for 20 minutes.
20 minutes. We would be like, I don't
spider?
know what.
Finger monkey?
Oh.
Finger monkey. Yeah.
I'm really curious what the context of that Stephen King quote is about how much he liked Boys in the Hood.
Yeah, he tweeted it. So
That's
apparently
hilarious.
he just like watched the movie finally.
Yeah.
And was like, I have to tell people on Twitter about this.
Good on him.
Yeah.
There's
I
a
guess he
Gotta
was,
put that out in the world.
he was doing a lot of cocaine when it came out, so
must
he
have missed
probably
a
just
lot.
didn't remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did I wait so long to get to know you? Dad, we've known each other my entire life.
Here's your letterbox review. It's 5,000 words, no ending. Sorry. I gotta roast Stephen King every time.
It's the same review several times over, slightly tweaked, but not one of them is taken down.
Dude, I hate Stephen King. I think he's great at coming up with stories, but I think his prose is the worst fucking shit.
It's so bad.
It's so bad. I was reading After Sunset, like one of his short story collections, and in one of them, I will never forget this. The line was, he felt both bad and good, a Reese's peanut butter cup of emotions. And I fucking took that book and just shut it and put it on the shelf.
We
and
gotta
never
get
fucking
that
looked at it
man
again.
an editor. I'll do it.
The worst.
See, the thing is why would anybody pay for an editor for him when that book sells regardless of that sentence being in there, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
He's reached a point in his writing career where Reese's Peanut Butter Cup as a emotional comparative between bad and good, as if that's the composition of a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup? Like, which part's bad there? Are we not liking chocolate or not liking peanut butter?
Is the paper on the chocolate.
Oh, it's the wrapper.
There's too much time between the peanut butter cup being ingested because you have to remove the paper.
Plus, if that gets even a little bit warm, it melts in there, and then you've got a real, like, you're pulling the chocolate coating off because you're just ripping chunks out with the paper. Yeah,
you get that little peanut butter butt plug that you pull out at the bottom. You know what I'm talking about? No good.
I think though, if you need to start another band, peanut butter butt
plug.
Yeah. I think that's probably the way to go.
Like the string cheese experiment, like you've got a jam band on your hands.
Totally.
Okay, so let's talk Debs for this situation. Our Mikey, our scale is 1 to 5. 1 being a debacle, 2 being debilitated, 3 being debatable, 4 being debonair, and 5 being debaucherous. How many Debs would you give this first F-bomb on American TV? And in fact, as precedented by previous episodes, we're pretty much just rating the quality of this. So rate yourself. How do you think you did?
I'd give it a 4 for the finding out that this was a guy that everyone liked and that he got a raw deal. And I'm glad that we can help sort of dispel the myth a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that.
I'm struggling because I'm like, I like the guy, and I think that this is a fun story. Like, I think that this is a fun bit of information to have when you're like meeting new people or whatever. But boy, it bums me out that people reduced him so much to just this one incident. Yeah, I guess I'm going 4 as well.
I'm gonna go 5.
Hell yeah.
Because of how smoothly he said it. I'm gonna go with the actual saying of it on live TV, and that will be my focus.
It was debonair.
Exactly. I was probably gonna change it, but then whenever I went through the scale again, I was like, that fits.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give this a 5 also, mainly because 1, we surveyed a lot of instances where this happened, and it subsequently happens several other times, and it means less and less every single time. This is very like unique in that it mattered as much as it did.
True.
And that it sits in the annals of history in this way, right? That there's plenty of incidences where weird things are said on TV. Like newscasters say horribly stupid shit all the time. That barely gets
that guy
cut.
who showed his wiener on news.
Yeah.
What?
He like opened his iPad to show a picture, and it was a dick pic.
Good Lord.
And he's like, "Oh no, it's a cold front coming through. Just look away." High pressure system.
One more. Go on.
You got it.
Cumulonimbus.
El Nino.
El Nino is way better. We should have gone with El Nino. Yeah. Well, I'll cut everything else out. It's just going to be El Nino. That's Spanish for the Nino.
Great job. Hey, what's your French Duolingo streak?
Oh man. Let me look it up real quick. It's some very high number in the 1500s.
That's why he mistranslated the Spanish.
Well, it was a reference to a Chris Farley joke.
Oh.
On SNL, Chris Farley
Oh.
Chris Farley is dressed in like mariachi garb and they're doing
Classic.
the weather segment and he's El Nino and he's like El Nino is Spanish for the Nino. And it's Chris Farley.
True.
1576 is the number of days
Wow.
consecutive in my Duolingo
Congrats.
streak.
Congrats.
Yeah. Yeah. I know French now.
Hell yeah.
So well that I don't need to prove it to you or anyone else.
Don't you dare ask me. Nothing gives you that right.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let's see what it's. 2 5s and 2 4s.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yep.
So math should be easier on that one.
Yeah. 18. So 9. Wait, no. Why am I so bad
that
at
was
this?
hard. 4 point.
4.5.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, 4.5.
Oh.
Man, I'm terrible.
Oh.
It's like 9. I don't know why I can only divide by 2.
Then you divide by 2 again. You're right. We got this.
I quit my math minors. That's my excuse.
There we go. There's a reason for these things. So yeah, 4.5. That's pretty good. Michael J. O'Connor, thank you so much
Thank you.
for taking the hosting mantle and teaching
Yeah.
us about Charles Rocket among other things. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
Oh, let's see. I have my I do a audiobook podcast that once a month called True Ruin. What's kind of autobiographical stories. I read them, write them every month and read them. It's called True Ruin. It's on Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. And also do it in blog form 2 weeks before. So mjocwrites.medium.com. It's also on Substack. You can follow me on Twitter, mjocwrites. And I also play music, wrote the music for this show.
You did.
Just put out a new EP called Overdrive Gold. That should be on Spotify like by the time this comes out.
It's fucking amazing too.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I'm excited.
Speaking of your podcast too, I want to flag the How Disneyland Showed Me That My Sense of Wonder Was Truly Dead episode.
Yeah.
I really, I enjoyed. I mean, it's not really like in it. Woo! I'm enjoying this, but it was really well done.
Thank you. It's
Yeah.
nice.
As you know,
Nice.
because as much as I love seeing your sense of wonder crushed, it also is sad.
Yeah, I just did a 4-part series on like a train trip that I took back in 2021. And I do all kinds of weird stuff on there.
Hell yeah!
Yeah.
Hell yeah!
I'll be doing another one at the beginning of the middle of this month about this a little preview about how I was once saved by the oldest topless review in Las Vegas.
Oh.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
spiritually saved or like literally saved from drowning?
Both.
Great.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, both.
Excellent.
All right.
Yeah.
And was well, no, I don't want
No
we
spoilers,
don't,
no
we don't want to
spoilers.
spoil anything. I was
It'll
going to
be on
ask.
there. It'll be
I
on
was going to ask: is the topless review actually like? Is it the oldest topless review or the oldest topless review?
It's both.
Oh.
Great.
Wow.
Yeah, it's both.
There's a lot happening here. This is
Let me
exciting.
Let me just say some of the actors have not changed since its inception. It's gone now, but at the time, it was both.
Amazing.
Boy.
All right. Listeners, if you like this podcast, subscribe, rate, review us wherever you listen. Please give us 5 stars and a review on Apple Podcasts. Tell us your favorite place. You said the F-bomb for the first time. If it was on TV, let us know. Send us a YouTube link. We want to see. We want to see where you said fuck. Any other words, really, that you said on TV, honestly. Like, go ahead.
Yeah.
We're probably going to less want to watch them, depending, but, why not? If you want to check out some science fiction books, you can check out Spaceboy Books, read spaceboy.com. And of course, michaeljoconnor.bandcamp.com. Get the music behind the man, behind the music in front of this podcast.
There she is.
Okay.
Because it's the opening theme.
Oh, yeah.
It made its way to sense.
You did that.
I see what you did there.
I do see what you did there.
Yay, I get a point this time.
Just this once.
Just this once.
And if you are dearly missing Chelsea's and my voices between these fortnightly releases, you can come find us over on Never Show the Monster, a weekly horror movie podcast where we discuss movies in clusters of themes. A recent one, perhaps the ongoing one, is Possessed by Aliens. Find us there.
Do it. It's a good podcast. It's real good.
Thank you.
Yeah. On our next episode, we're going to be talking about the First Skyscraper. So if you got a sky, it's got some schmutz on it, you need it scraped. Mm-hmm. You better be back in 2 weeks. We're going to be here.
Truman Show style? I don't know. We haven't recorded it yet. I'm looking forward to learning information.
Yeah.
I know. There's going to be another guest. It's amazing. It's just a whole month of guests.
Yeah.
Thanks again to Michael J. O'Connor.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Bye.
Bye, buddies.
Thank you.
Also, thank you.
Do you want to do it one more time?
I don't know.
Your call, Mr. Editor.
Yeah. Okay. One more time. Thanks again, Michael J. O'Connor, for being on. We appreciate you. And
thanks so much.
Now I'm just leaving this all in.
I can't.
My God,
you got to leave it all in.
Yeah, now I got to leave it all in. This has been Debut Buddies. Bye, buddies.
Bye, buddy.
Bye, buddy.